Sawadee Cup and welcome to another episode here for the Funky Pod, the academic corner, my relaxing little academic corner here. If you're watching the video, you saw me smiling right away because this is not the second time that I recorded. The first time I pressed record, but something didn't really work out. Now it seems to work. I'm just looking at my screen where it shows that it's recording while I talk. Okay, great. Okay, I already almost finished the preview, the episode once. So what I talked about was a few things. So it's why the academic corner. So because I want to talk to you guys that are listening to it, just to exchange ideas, building a community of sorts, so to speak. I did get a few emails so far, and I think I replied to everybody, so I appreciate that. Thanks, keep them coming. Reach out on LinkedIn. A few of you did this too. I appreciate it too. Please do, connect there. Happy to do that. Because lots of my friends / contacts might not really understand what I'm doing at university if they're not academics, and my colleagues at university not necessarily my friends. Even though I appreciate all my colleagues, obviously, it's just nice to also talk informally about the things that we're doing, right? So that's why. Okay, so then this week in academics, I started a new class because one of my colleagues, he retired actually, and he just kept doing the classes for like half a semester. He said, I can do it until the midterm, but afterwards someone else has to take over. There's someone else is me right now. So last week was midterm week, midterm exams. There's no midterm break after. Now we're back at teaching and grading still. I grade all the exams twice usually to make sure that students get the points they deserve, obviously. I try to do like blind grading, obviously, so I don't know whose paper I'm grading while I'm grading, but I think most people do that anyways. Okay, I hope I'll finish by today, Saturday, or tomorrow, Sunday then. So much for professors don't work on the weekend. So that new class called Multicultural Communication, 4th year students, bachelor degree. So I like it. I like it a lot. I used to do this. I used to teach multicultural communication before I came to my current university, but then my colleague was here who's been doing this for years now, and now he's gone. And so I took over now for the second part of the semester. If a new colleague is coming, maybe he's going to take over that course again, as I already have lots of courses. But let's see. I enjoy the topic quite a lot. It's lots of fun. Also, I love teaching 4th year students because they already have the foundation, so you can just, I don't know, talk with them like grown-ups a little more. Like they all know like the foundational communication models. If I say, you remember Hall's communication model, then they say, yes, of course we remember that, which is nice. So I don't need to lay the foundation again. So you can have some more intense / detailed discussions. So in this week's class, for example, we talked about how multicultural communication influences the war, for example. So we talked about the Ukraine, obviously, and without pointing fingers, obviously, but we talked about how multicultural communication plays a part in like conflict, communicating through conflicts or during conflicts, and how it impacts wars and so on. It was very interesting. Pretty interesting was what students thought about that. We also talked about multicultural communication in daily life, of course, how it impacts daily life, how it impacts lots of things. I don't want to bore you with the facts here if you're not into communication, but it was pretty interesting and I really enjoyed that. It's lots of extra work now, of course, but it's a really cool class and I really like the students, so that's fun. It's a big class, it's around 85 to 90 students or so, so that makes it a bit more difficult, but let's see how it goes. Assignment-wise, I don't do exams in this class. Even though I did exams in my other classes, my midterm exams now, as I mentioned in the last podcast, just to take them or get them out of the comfort zone because they're used to now taking electronic exams, online exams, open book exams. So I just wanted to do something different. Wanted to get them out of the comfort zone and just put them back in a pressure situation. Just to mix things up a little bit. I also told them I want to see you sweat one last time because it's the 4th year, so they will be gone soon. I will not have final exams. I will have final presentations, pitches, reports, whatever, depending on the class, of course. Different classes, different assessment methods, obviously. In this new class now, what I'm doing is, and let me know what you think about it. So, ongoing assignment, they have to collect artifacts that somehow relate to their multicultural / intercultural communication experience, so things that somehow impact their way of communicating, or something that communicates to them, if you will, right? So that's what I want them, and then they will have to present 2 or 3 of those artifacts to class. That's like an ongoing assignment. And then the final assignment for the second half of the semester will be to write a paper, like not too long, like 5, 6, 7, 8 pages max. Either a media critique paper, so critique a media text based on like the multicultural theories that we are discussing, of course, in class, or write a paper on personal identity and how multicultural communication and different theories impact our personal identities, or like in this case, a specific identity, the student's identity. So I hope this gives them the opportunity to pick what they're really interested in. And I'm actually, even though it's going to be 80 to 90 students, and it's going to be lots of work grading it, I'm looking forward to reading those things, because they should be quite insightful, I think. Okay, so that's what happened this week in academics for me, and with my class and all those things. Let me know what you're doing, of course. Also, what else is happening? Oh yeah, we had but it was very interesting to me. First time that I was part of a committee, kind of like only as an observer in this case, though, for a job interview. Because now, as I mentioned, one of my colleagues retired, so we have a job opening. So if you're into it, feel free to apply. And so I was in the room during the job interview / teaching demonstration. I also got asked questions and was able to ask a few questions to the candidate, which was very interesting. And what I realized is that it's really hard, apparently, to find a person that is academically savvy, like who wants to do research and write journal papers and stuff like this, and on the other hand, who's really good with people and who's really good at teaching and communicating with people. And so I don't want to talk more about like the applicant. That wouldn't be fair, of course. But I just realized that this is really difficult. And when I look at myself, right, I mentioned it several times. So I do like writing and creating content, obviously, as you can see. But I hate journals. I hate journals with a passion. Just because, like, you submit something and some random peer review guy, just because it's his job, he got selected to be like the reviewer. He goes like, I just give you suggestions, and you're like, that doesn't make any sense. And then you rephrase stuff and you try to implement the feedback even though it doesn't make sense. And then after like back and forth, it gets submitted, it gets published, and then no one's gonna read it. Because who reads journals? Because quite frankly, lots of we have to publish, right? As an academic, you have to publish, which means people publish because they have to, not because they want to. And there's just so much BS in those journals. There's lots of good stuff too, of course, but there's also so much bad stuff. So I rather read like in professional magazines or whatever, online publications, conference, like real not academic conferences. Let's not go down that road again. But like, I don't know, when there's something that's coming out of south to southwest, for example, things like this, right? I'm like, hey, cool. Let me see what came out of that. Let me see what people discussed and so on. But academic journals, oh god. So anyways, it's hard to find like someone who likes both, I guess, because I like the other kind of content, and I really like being in the classroom, teaching students, having discussions, debating things, and then making them go, oh yeah, right. That's fantastic. That makes me really happy. And others are like more into academics, of course, which is great, like in research-wise, which is great too. But it's hard to find someone who does everything, I think. Just my observation. Okay. Enough about that, though. Other than that, what I also had this week, which was pretty cool, and I think I should give a shout out. I had a guest lecture by a marketing agency in my digital strategies class, and having guest lectures is always like either it goes well or just. In this case, it went really well, and I've been working with this agency for a few years now. I think it's the third or fourth year. So shout out to BidMath, BIDMATH, BidMath here in Bangkok. It's like a data-driven agency that does like some cool stuff with data. they're in Bangkok, but their headquarters in the Netherlands. So in case you're in Europe and you want to work with them, I don't get anything for saying that, but we've been working together for 3 or 4 years now, and they brought a whole team to the guest lecture, not just one person. They brought like a whole team, which was pretty cool. And then different team members presented different parts of the presentation, and then afterwards they played a game with the students, like a quiz, had some prizes for them, and then even enough time to give students individual feedback on their group projects. They have some final projects that they're working on. It was awesome. So they spent like 3 hours with our students. Fantastic! Like came all the way from downtown Bangkok to the campus, which is a long drive, like 60 to 90 minutes one way in easily. So I really appreciate that the BitMath guys and girls came out there. It was fantastic. So thanks for that again. It was really cool. I'm really lucky to have those people doing guest lectures because they really seem to care, which is nice. We also had a few alumni working there, doing internships and then working there on big clients, which is really cool. So I really appreciate that. Okay, that was very positive. I like that. I should have more of those guest lectures. Pardon me. Yeah. Then the last thing I wanted to talk about is class attendance. So me and a colleague, we co-teaching in one class. It's a first year class this semester, and it's Friday morning. So it's the worst time, right? Friday is tough anyways. And because it's first year, we're still going with like attendance and like, okay, because it's an easy first year class. So attendance is even part of the score. So in my fourth year classes, attendance is not part of the score. Obviously not. Like, why would you get credits for just being there? Yeah. But in the first year, we're like, okay, we try to establish like the habit of being on time, being there, and so on. So you do get credits for doing the attendance check. And still lots of students just show up late. And so my question is, do you force them into, like with credits and scores and stuff, do you force them into showing up on time, or are you like, whatever? Like for me, the longest time, like this is the only class with my colleague, because like I think he's more used to doing it, to actually do attendance check with scores. I do attendance check in other classes. Like I'm like, okay, take a picture of this, take a selfie right now, upload it to our LMS. So I see that you were there. It's not for credit, it's just for me to see who's there. And then when they come and then they want something, like at the end of the semester, John, I didn't get this, can you explain again? I can say, yeah, well, you've only been here like twice, so why would I go out of my way to do something for you? Whereas when someone who's there all the time, but then of course I also know them if they're there all the time, and then they say, John, can you explain this again? I will be like, yeah, of course I do, no problem. Yeah. So if you have questions, ask them. But if you don't bother to show up, I'm not gonna go out of my way to explain you things that you should know when you would have, or when you should have been in class. When you would have been to class, you would have known. If someone who's been to class and didn't get it and then asks, I'm more than happy to explain it 1,000 times, of course, right? But if someone just doesn't show, so that's what I do, like those attendance checks for, usually attendance checks for. But in the first year now with my colleague, it's like you have to be there by 9:30 or you don't get the credits. And I wonder how are other people doing that? Because it feels a little bit like kindergarten, but then again, seeing that many students don't show up on time, maybe it's necessary. So maybe it's just a Thai thing. Like I do one guest lecture in a European university that has a campus here. Everybody's on time usually. Like everybody's there 10 minutes early. So maybe it's just a Thai thing. Let me know. Let me know what you think there. Next time in the academic corner, I'll try to have a guest. Let's see if it works for next time. If not, then definitely the time after. And I will have updates on a conference thing. I don't want to say more right now, but I will have the updates on a conference thing and an event thing. It's going to be exciting. So stay tuned. What a cliffhanger. If you have anything you want to share, how's it going with you right now? What are you doing? Let me know either via email, funkitpod@gmail.com, or just add funkitpod on all the socials. Like, share, subscribe would be awesome, so we have a bigger community to discuss all those things. Rate the podcast if you can, then more people will find us. That would be awesome. Until then, stay safe, take care, don't give too many A's.